us how to make further progress in getting everything done. So I will not give us the full insight. I will let Dr. Amrita Lakshmi, who is the moderator for this section, to take over from here. So thank you so much, Dr. Amrita. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for your kind introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Amrita Lakshmi, and it's my honor to serve as a moderator for this workshop entitled Key Point to Note and Common Mistakes to Avoid When Submitting NRF Proposals to TED Funds. Before we begin, I would like to thank the Academic and Grant Writing Enclave for their unwavering commitment to academic excellence and putting together a marvelous and phenomenal event like this. A big salute to the organizer. To ensure a productive session, here are some housekeeping details. Please keep your microphones muted. And if you have any questions, you can type in the chat or you can use the raise hand feature during this Q&A session. And the session will be consisting of 45 minutes of presentation followed by Q&A session. So now it's my privilege to introduce our esteemed facilitator, Professor MOHAMMED ALIYU PAIKO, Vice Chancellor Abdul Qadir Kure University, Mina. So let me read his citation. Professor MOHAMMED ALIYU PAIKO is a distinguished scholar and academic leader who currently serves as the Vice Chancellor of Abdul Qadir Kure University, Mina, the Niger State, Nigeria. Professor Paiko's journey through the academic landscape is a testament to his unwavering commitment to the advancement of knowledge and nurturing of future generations of scholars. Professor Paiko's academic foundation was built through rigorous training and research. He earned his PhD in aquatic animal nutrition and biotechnology from University Sains, Malaysia, an achievement that laid the groundwork for his profound contribution to the fields of biochemistry and biotechnology. His dedication to research excellence was further enhanced by his postdoctoral studies at University Putra, Malaysia, where he continues to serve as visiting professor at the Laboratory of Aquatic Health and Biotechnology, Institute of Biosciences, etc. His work at UPM and elsewhere exemplifies his commitment to advancing our understanding of nutritional immunogenomics and the development of resistant strains of marine fish species through dietary interventions. With over 2 decades of experience in teaching and research, Professor Paiko has made significant strides in the fields of biochemistry, biotechnology, animal nutrition, and beyond. His research endeavors at Ibrahim Badamasi Babadinga University, Lapai, particularly focusing on improving the immune systems of farm animals through innovative feed interventions. His scholarly output is extensive, with numerous publications in high impact journals that continue to shape the discourse in his fields of expertise. Additionally, his role as reviewer and academic editor for top tier journals underscores his influence and dedication to maintaining the highest standards of academic integrity. The Professor Paiko's leadership extends beyond his research achievements. At IBBUL, he served in various key administrative roles, including as Deputy Vice Chancellor, where he has played a pivotal role in shaping academic policies and fostering an environment of excellence. His leadership is marked by a commitment to both academic rigor and holistic development of the university community. Beyond his administrative and research responsibilities, Professor Paiko is a passionate mentor who has guided numerous master's and PhD candidates to success in Nigeria and Malaysia. His mentorship is not only academic but also inspirational, encouraging his mentees to pursue their research with some dedication and zeal that he exemplifies. In addition to his academic and administrative contribution, Professor Paiko is a highly respected resource person, frequently invited to speak at seminars, symposiums, and workshops on writing successful research grants. His expertise in securing local and international grants has not only advanced his research but also empowered many others to achieve their academic goals. Professor Paiko's contributions have been recognized both nationally and internationally through various fellowships, awards, and accolades. His presence at numerous conferences where he has often been honored for his outstanding presentations is a testament to his stature in the academic community. Outside of his professional life, Professor Paiko is a man of diverse interests, including reading, writing, cycling, and engaging in voluntary work. He is a devoted family man married with three children and is deeply passionate about promoting entrepreneurship as a means of societal advancement. So it's our great honor and privilege to have you here, sir, and the stage is over to you.
Thank you, Amrutha, for that very elaborate introduction. A very warm morning, afternoon, or evening to all organizers, resource persons, the facilitators, and my colleagues, participants in this very auspicious occasion of this conference. And of course, we are in the pre-conference workshop. So thank you for that elaborate introduction, and I'm really delighted to be here as usual. If I may I share my slides, and why I ask if I am actually very, very clear to everyone who is listening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
All right. Just a minute. I'm trying to share my slides from the beginning. Here we are. So thank you very much, the organizers and of course the facilitators and the moderator for giving me the opportunity to once again come on board. We were here in August, and it was about concept note. By popular demand, my email was bombarded with a lot of requests to do something about writing the NRF full proposal. By the way, NRF is a National Research Fund of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. It is a fund in Nigeria that is called upon every time per year, and very few highly qualitative researches are sponsored by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. The funding is as high as 50 million, if I could remember. We are just told that it's going to go much higher. A brief note to Dr. Wazani, my slides are not AI generated, they are human generated. I am proud to say. However, I am a freak when it comes to presentations or using AI for anything. I have been following the trend, and I believe out of the categories you named, I am one of the first two, I think. And so I employ everyone to actually lend a hand in AI. AI has helped me to develop this slide, but I didn't develop this slide using AI. I developed it the traditional way using a PowerPoint presentation. So quickly, my presentation today will dwell on the key points to note and common mistakes to avoid when you are submitting your NRF full proposals to the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. And of course, my name is ALIYU Mohammed PAIKO. I'm a professional understanding biochemistry and biotechnology in the Department of Biotechnology in Abdulkadir Kure University, Mina. I'm delighted to be here to help our colleagues to continue to do research and to look for money for research. Luckily, the first talk was about technology. The second talk is about money. I like to speak about money to scholars, and I think is what we need to be able to do quality research and to be able to change whatever is happening in our environment. So quickly, my talk will take an outline of this nature, 5-point agenda. I'll do a background very quickly. And then we will talk about what we already know about the National Research Fund. We'll give some brief statistics so that those who are here who have won, the concept note has been accepted so that they can see that there's still a long way to go. And of course, not to discourage them to say they have done very well. We'll then talk about the key points they need to note at this point when they're going to the second stage. And then we will talk about the things that they actually need to avoid. And we shall try to do some conclusion very quickly. 45 minutes is not enough time to talk about NRF, but I will do my best to see how we can address these key issues very quickly. So the first point to tell whoever has won the NRF concept note is to say congratulations. It means that your research concept was adjudged to have been excellent. It means also that out of the noise that was submitted to TED yours has turned out to be one of those that gives a signal. So your signal to noise ratio is actually very high. It means you are on course. It means your ideas are fundable. It means you have also done a lot of homework. You know what you're talking about for you to have come this far. So congratulations. To second category of people who maybe did not get their ideas to have been selected, congratulations as well. It means that you are willing to try. You are also, if you are here, means you are willing to learn. Congratulations because you dared to participate. I was at that stage in 2016, 2017, when our first concept notes were accepted. So congratulations as well. If you are here, it means you want to learn, and you also want, to have your concept note accepted too. There are also a third category. Probably you have not submitted a concept note, but the title is very attractive, and you think that you should come and listen. Congratulations as well. It means you are willing to try another time, and then you are willing to learn ideas from those who have really done it and who got it. So it's a win-win for all of us. Nobody has failed. The only person who has failed is the person who knows about this and has not come here. They believe they know it. Good luck to them. Secondly, I cannot emphasize enough. The first emphasis is that the NRF grant circle as a background to this discussion, the NRF grant is competitive. I can't emphasize that a lot. It's competitive because even I speaking to you, my concept note has been accepted elsewhere with collaborators elsewhere. So you are collaborating. Here we are talking about, you are competing with me. I'm telling you things that you can use to beat me. So competition is really very stiff. Many are called and a few are chosen. When I give my statistics recently, just very shortly, you will see what I'm talking about. Because competition is what you do against your colleague, your friend, your neighbor, your wife, your child. And competition is what you take very seriously. The little information you have, you keep so that you give yourself the leverage, you give yourself the leeway to be able to win. So I can't emphasize enough. Many people, they get carried away by the bubble of NRF, and they forget that it's actually a competition. So we do remind them that you are in a competition, my friend. So buckle up. And what we know about competition, when there is money, competition becomes more competitive, becomes more intense. Here you can see our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, signing the approval for 5.1 billion naira for 185 TED Fund research grants. This happened sometime in February of this year, to give the money for those who won for 2023. It was actually signed off in January, and I believe those who won have got their money. So if there is money, there will be more competition. And I tell you, this year, the money is even more because the collection by TED Fund was more. By October, November, I have it on very good record because TED Fund came to my university, that we had already gone beyond 1 billion collected by October ending. It means the amount of money that is going to be allocated to TED Fund this year is going to be far, far greater than 5.1 that was given in January. So brace up, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of money. If your idea is very, very excellent, you can be very much assured that you tap into the very, very large pool of money that is there for you. Now, and we know it is only best ideas that are attractive and that get funded. So for your idea to have come this far, it means it's really very, very good. But you need to do something about it to make it to really be that magnet which will attract from those billions that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is signing. So you really need to do your best. You really need to put on your competitive cap, your competitive shoes, clean your brain, look at your proposal 1,000 times and clean it up so that you can get funded. The money is there. Of course, what I always tell people is that to be attractive and funded, ideas need to be really polished. This is where you are now. If the concept note, we were all going in the wilderness in search of diamonds or in search of gemstones, then when you really get your concept note to be accepted, it means you have like found an uncut diamond. You just found an uncut diamond. The value is there, but it's not that much yet. So that's the first stage, the one in blue, which you just crossed. You have found a gemstone that is not yet cut. So the value has not yet been brought out. Where you are now, you are at this second stage, which is in red. You need to really cut and polish that your diamond, that your concept note, which is what will make your full proposal to really shine. This is the stage where you are to polish it, that idea that you had the concept very rough, very native, very raw. You now need to cut it so that you can scale through to the third part, which is the cut diamond and polish one now to be used now to make a diamond ring. After this stage of your full proposal, it's still competitive because some people who wrote their full proposal will not be invited for an interview, the final interview, to give funding. So you are at the second stage. You need to cut this diamond. You need to polish it, make it shine, so that you can increase the value from probably the uncut diamond to $2,000. Now you have to shine and cut it to make it a $20,000 diamond, so that you can cut in pieces. And when it gets to finally to make the ring, you can make a ring $1.2 million ring. So we are at the second stage. You need to really polish your ideas. This is where you are. This is what we are here to do today. Now, quickly then, we now move to what do we know about the NRF, the statistics. Now, there are three things which we know in large chunks. The first one is that in NRF, since it started in 2012, there are what we call the leaders and there are laggards. You look at this batch, it is a publication of TEDFund of 2020. I gave this talk in 2022, and I used these statistics. Nothing much has changed. During that time, we know, for the first, the leaders have always been the Southwest. Up to 2020, only 88 proposals were approved for the Southwest. They were the leaders as at that time, from batch 1 in 2012 to batch 2, 2013. I didn't join. I started writing research proposal in 2014 by batch 3. But by 2020 and 2022, we already knew these statistics. This is what is available in the public domain. So brace up, if you are in the Northeast, probably because it is the region of Nigeria where the least number of universities are, by coincidence, that's the area which has attracted the least funding. This chart is not to witch hunt anyone, or to say some regions are more expensive or more poorly in research proposal writing. We are just showing you the challenge. So wherever you find yourself, the challenge is up there for you. In the Southwest, it means if you are there, many people win. So you have to brace up more. If you are in the Northeast, it means not a lot more people will win. And so it means that if you really get your ideas going, then you can win. I have put a blue arrow there for you to show where I belong. I am in the North Central. We are the third. When you come from Southwest, the next is Northwest, where ABU and Bayero universities are. Of course, the Southwest, where University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, all these traditional old universities, our old professors who had a collaboration with a lot of Western universities in the UK, in Europe, a lot of collaborators there. We have more professors in that area, more universities in that area. And then in the North Central, this is where University of Jos is. And the host other, Lokoja, IBB University, Lapai, FUT, Mina. There are so many very high quality people there too, in the North Central. I mean, in the Northwest, Bayero University, Kano, and a host of them in the North Central. So wherever you belong, you should know for a first instance, there are leaders, there are geopolitical regions that are the leaders, and there are those that are the laggards. So it depends on where you find yourself, then you fix yourself where it is appropriate. Now, secondly, to show you the leaders and laggards, there are the concept note areas where the competition is more, like science, technology, and innovation in blue on top, using the 2019 cycle for emphasis. You'll see that there are about 2,451 concept notes submitted. Over 50% of that came from science, technology, and innovation. Humanities and social science, not so much as that of science, technology, and innovation. And then, of course, cross-cutting is usually the least patronized. So if you are competing in the science, technology, and innovation landscape, you should know the competition is more. That's where people submit more. And the statistics also shows you number of concept notes evaluated, 1,600, 591 evaluated. Of course, out of all that, you will see that science technology from 1,006, only 518. That is 1 in 3. The concept notes cost 60%, but they only accepted 260. Out of the 260, if you break it down further, number of full proposals received, 260 asked for. Humanity and social science had only 80 asked for full proposal, and the cross-cutting had only 66. So out of that full proposal, 260, only 75 were recommended for final defense. And out of the 75, that's my own area, only 68 eventually. So if you make it through to this stage, you are almost 90% there, just for you to know. And using the 2020 cycle to also show you leaders and laggards, in 2020, 5,814 concept notes were accepted in science, engineering, technology, and innovation. It is the same area, but they call it SETI by 2020. You can see that health and social welfare accounted for the highest. SETI had 3,562 over the whole 5,800. So we have broken the SETI down into the different thematic areas so that you can see that health and social welfare, if you are competing in that space, highly competitive. That's where I compete. And number 7, agriculture and food security. These are 2 major areas that I compete. But if you are in science, education, engineering, technology, and innovation, you should know where you fall. And as far as competition is, leaders and laggards are concerned. And then finally, out of that 5,800 and something, you can see only 351 concept notes were accepted to full proposal. From 354, only 102. Number of full proposals assessed 354. Number of proposals recommended for grant cycle is 1 in every 3, as at 2020, so that you know how really competitive it is. Many are called, few are chosen. And the second stage of what we know about STI is that winning full proposal, they have their quality criteria. This is quite very clear. Of course, the quality criteria are those who observe deadline, are those that abide by the word count, those who don't allow budget to reach the maximum. There's a way that people always say is 50 million. People who want to ask for 49,999,000. You know, you don't, your budget should not be, I have spoken about in the concept note, your budget when it was 50 million should be around from 25 million up to 35, 40 million. That's where the majority is. So breakdown of budget should be in line with the guideline. The guideline has clear guidelines regarding how much for personnel costs, how much for equipment, how much for dissemination, how much for if you are doing travels and transfers, all those, they have their own guidelines, TED fund. So again, the quality criteria are those proposals that typographical and syntax errors are minimal or absent. When we used to submit a TED fund NRF in 2015, we used to send it as a bounded copy. That time, faint prints used to be an issue. You see someone submitting something photocopied and the ink is so this one is no longer feasible, but it's still applicable because people still use very funny fonts. It is a template now. People want to change to a template, a font type that the template came with, maybe Times New Roman. Somebody will want to change it to a template, a font that will make them squeeze in as many words as possible or reduce the font size. All these quality criteria is those who maintain the font type that it came with the template. There used to be also the issue of senior lecturer and above, that before you lead NRF, you must be a senior lecturer and above. Senior lecturers are considered as the maturity point in academia. It was felt if you are not a senior lecturer, you shouldn't lead. But last year in IBB University, I saw a lecturer one who won his concept note and he went for defense and he actually won lecturer one. So I'm not sure this is still very valid. Even the concept note, I saw people who are PhD students, they have written to me, their concept note has been accepted. So I wouldn't know whether this are still applicable, but this is what it used to be. There are also scientific researches that require ethical clearance from ethical committees. If you don't have it, you will lose points. So quality criteria ensure that if you require ethical clearance or from an ethical committee, if applicable to your own, make sure that you have it. Their proposals need to have mentees. You shouldn't have a group, everybody is a professor. I've already spoken about this. You know, a good proposal is that which has mentors. It has intermediate, senior, mature lecturers, senior lecturers, and then mentees, PhD students, even master's students. Quality criteria, also collaboration is key, not only between institutions, but also between departments and disciplines. If you have your work entails microbiology, you should have a microbiologist who has published in that area. If it entails a geologist, you ensure that the team has a geologist along. Gender balance also very, very interesting. Around the world, we are reminded from UN, United Nations, who set the Millennium Development Goals, the sustainability goals now. GESI, G-E-S-I, is a very, very serious thing now. Gender equality and social inclusion. Make sure your group has, at least one female, one or two, based on their own discipline also, gender balance. Conflict of interest, of course, it used to be the case, people like myself as a vice chancellor, I cannot, because there will be conflict of interest if you win the grant, who will release the money? I cannot release money to myself. So there used to be an issue of conflict of interest. I think it's still subsisting. Make sure if your vice chancellor is part, he cannot be part of the research team, or he cannot be a PI. It's a conflict of interest. Then budget, it used to be institutional based research, 2 million. And then if it's 50 million, then it should be NRF. So make sure you're not submitting a budget of 2 million to NRF, whereas you're supposed to submit that of 50 million or more if they have increased what it is now. So also quality criteria, make sure that the PI, the signature of the PI and also co-researchers, they sign. It is a security document. It is an agreement. So it is a legal document as well. Anybody who is a co-researcher, make sure they sign. There has to also be endorsement by the head of institution or representative. If the vice chancellor is not there, some universities is the vice chancellor who signs. Some universities, deputy vice chancellor, academic or research and innovation. In some other institutions, it is the director of research that is the representative of the VC. You have to ensure the representative of your institution signs. By the way, NRF is supposed to be warehouse, is supposed to be led by academics in either universities, polytechnics, or colleges of education. But other people from research institute can also collaborate as collaborators and so on and so forth. So this is the second thing we know about NRF quality criteria. The third and the final thing we know is that full proposal evaluation is carried out by two assessors. It means they will select randomly two people, whether male or female, or male and female, or two males or two females, or one or the other. And it's usually single-blinded. It means the assessors who will access your proposal will know you because they will see your address, they will see your institution, they will see your name. But it's single-blinded because you who is being assessed does not know who is assessing you. So it's single-blinded. And then, of course, the two assessors have to score to have a difference of not up to 10 or more. That is, if one scores 50, the other one cannot have scored you like 70, for instance. The difference has to be lower than 10, 50, 55. Then they take the average. If there is a difference of more than 10, then they will look for a third assessor. If one says 50, one says 70, then maybe they look for a third one. If the third one is closer to the highest, then they take average of the highest. If it's close to the lowest, then they take average of the lowest. Of course, I've spoken about conflict of interest for evaluation, meaning those who do the evaluation can also not apply to give NRF proposal. They can't evaluate themselves. So no NRF members are eligible, including those in the TED fund. And of course, the pass mark is 60%. So now let's head to with this background now of the quality, what we know. So what are those points that you need to note? And I always tell this story. NRF, it is a very beautiful love story and that has a happy ending. This lady in Kerala, somewhere in Kerala, India, she discovered that there's a beauty pageant every year. And she studied the beauty pageant for 5 consecutive years. And she now decided that, of course, winning that beauty pageant in their local community has to do with facial beauty and, of course, the trinkets that you wear and how very, very, very clean and beautiful you look. So having studied that for a very long time, this lady goes ahead. This is the actual lady on your left. She goes to and finds a very good cosmetic artist, and he repairs her, and then he upgrades her to what you see on your right. And of course, you can be it wouldn't surprise you to learn that this lady actually won the competition. So what am I saying here? In Hausa, they say "Inkana de kyau, ekara de wanka," meaning if you are very beautiful or you are very handsome, then you should elevate it up with more. You should bath as soon as seldom as you could, meaning you cannot just assume you are very pretty or you are beautiful and then refuse to take your bath. So what we are doing today is to give the polish. What you already have as a very good proposal, what do you do to polish it from what you have on the left so that you can present it to what you have, using the example of the lady in your picture, so that
Prof, please, you're muted, sir. We can't hear you, sir. You're muted. Prof, you're okay. Yes, sir. You're back.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I just had a technical hitch. I think my mic went off.
Yes,
can you hear me now
clearly? It's no longer showing now, sir. Yes, we can hear you,
yes,
sir.
I will share. Have we gone up to where I am now? Have you followed up to where I am now?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
You followed me
Yes,
up
sir.
to this point?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So what are those things that you need to do? Of course, the ones you see with red bells there are those that they are alarms. meaning you should take seriously. For the title, we have all round up your title shouldn't be more than 20 words. I have read proposal from 2013 up to 2022, and those accepted, their word count about 82% of the ones I checked, 82%, the word count was about 20 words or a little fewer, meaning between 18 to 21 words. So the quality criteria for you to watch out for, you should note 20 words. The ones that we see usually go beyond 20 words for a title are those that have scientific words. Somebody will want to name a plant. They also want to give a scientific title to maybe a process in their title. So that takes it about 25 up to 30. But the key word here is once your title is very clear, no need to worry. But I mean, the rule of thumb, make it around 20 words. Now, how appropriate is your proposed project to the chosen thematic area? Some people choose thematic area of agriculture and climate change, and they are submitting something that has to do not with that thematic area. Now, some people, the details and justification of their research background does not match. Justification, why did you use this particular methodology? Why are you even thinking that this, your proposal, that it will work? You have to justify and give a research background. What motivated you for your research? You know, were you just motivated to just do research? What problem will it solve? Ways to address the gaps. Which gaps are there in the proposal, in the grant and the proposal you are putting forward, and how do you hope to address them? How relevant is it to Nigeria's development? If you heard me during the concept note, I say every proposal has to address Nigeria's issue. You can't be submitting something that has to do with maybe Ghana or another country, or you're talking about something that is just very dear to you. It doesn't solve any problem in Nigeria. What your statement of research problem should address gaps and to lead to research questions. You know, there's a progression from research question or problem statement to the scope or objectives you want to address. And then, of course, it will lead to the research questions you want to add. Do these things flow? Problem description needs to be very clear. This is where people have problems. To describe the problem in the perspective required. And I gave how you can run this through. What is the problem? What is the overwhelming nature of the problem? How have people tackled it in the past? What did they get? How has the problem persisted? And then finally, why is yours? Why do you think your own approach is going to solve? So problem description needs to be very, very clear in these three perspectives: overwhelming nature, what has been done previously, why the problem remains, and then what needs to be done now using your own strategy. You have to also describe the overall scope of the problem. You can't be solving a problem forever. Remember, NRF is for just, I think, 2 years, 48 months, if I remember very correctly. And then your objectives that you're putting forward, they should be very smart, specific, measurable, achievable, and they are relevant and time-bound. You cannot say you want to travel from Mina to Abuja. That is only an aim. You want to travel from Mina to Abuja using a car and within 2-3 hours. You know, so you have to be specific. We have the ability to measure it. It should be achievable, and it should be, of course, relevant, and it should be time-bound. So all your objectives should be very smart. So your main goal or aim of the research leading to the intermediate or specific milestones have to be very, very clearly stated. Smart objectives should lead to your procedures and to the outcomes. And that is, from what you want to achieve your objective, it will lead you to the activities you need to do to achieve those. And then, of course, from that, it should also tell us the outcome from each activity. So this should have been properly articulated. Statement in the form of question hypothesis relating to goals of the research project. You have to write statement in the form of questions and hypotheses, which should relate to goals of your project. You should give a brief review of recent related works on the research project to properly situate the proposed research in the knowledge space in the field. You should also describe theoretical basis of your research problem and methodology. The appropriateness and the quality of your methodology has to be stated. Some people still use very outdated methodologies. Appropriate choice of variables to study how to handle the variables. Which one are the dependable and which one are the non-dependable variables. And then you describe description of approaches and methods or procedures for achieving the desired output of the project. And then your appropriate method of collecting and analyzing variables and measurable results. And then expected short-term and long-term deliverables. You have to show that your deliverables, those who are long-term, those who are short-term, what will your project deliver immediately? What are those that will be delivered in 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years? And then specific research project result expected from the measured variable. You have to give what is the output, what will we get from this project? Of course, you have to mention also the impact. It's not about getting results. What's the impact of on the national development? If you're trying to solve climate change, how does it make an impact to slow the effect of climate change? How different is the other earlier projects? You have to show how yours is different than others. That is, you are showing novelty. How is yours novel? Novelty may not be something done for the first time, but it could be something that has worked in India. You are importing to Nigeria, but you are presenting in such a way that Nigerians have not tried it before. If we do try it, it has worked in India, it can work here. Novelty can be something from somewhere brought into this country. How realistic is your budget? That's where many people fail. They want to get 49,999,999 naira. But when we cast the activities you're going to do, your methodology and activities, we see that you are not being very realistic. There is what we call the budget justification. You want to buy a laptop. For example, what laptop? What model? Why do you need that particular model? You want to buy a software. Which software? Why that software? Are there other cheaper varieties? So budget has to be very realistic. How recent and relevant are your references? Some people are citing references from 20, 30 years ago. Are those questions in those references still relevant in 2024? You have to know. And then the last 5 are actually blends. You should have a very good blend of quality and experience of team members, not only all professors or those who have won grants before, all of them listed. No, very good blend of those who are highly experienced and those who are mentors. You should also have a good blend of seniority, relevant specialization, and mentoring. There's a microbiologist, a biotechnologist, you have a soil scientist, all mixed together. Or you need an accountant, you need somebody who has done economics, somebody who is a political scientist, you need a historian. Very good blend. Or for that matter, you need a medical sciences, you need a nurse, you need a medical laboratory scientist. That very good blend of specialities, of specialization, of different methodologies, so that all the relevant areas of the project will have experts who have published very good works in the project they are going to participate in this particular project. Then, of course, availability of both gender of researchers and or mentees. You should have both male, you are training males, you are training females. You have senior professors, females, you have senior professors, males. Very good blend of all that. So now things to avoid. What are those things critically that we need to avoid while carrying out this very good polish to submit our final proposal? So meaning the bad ideas that if you look, that you should avoid. Bad ideas, bad concepts, bad language, or bad methodology that you need to totally avoid so that your clean polish will yield for you a very, very beautiful output that will be very, very attractive, like that woman I showed you in the picture. Number one, of course, we always know over the maximum total budget. This is one of the killers. When we're accessing from 2014 to 2022, we saw that surprisingly about 12% of people were rejected based on this. People want to ask for money. I don't know whether they are not conscious of the maximum. Maximum was 50 million. Look at, somebody is asking for 64,890,000 here. I think we love money so much that we are not even careful about the rules. So please, over the maximum is one of the big killers. Number two, word count. For everything you do, please avoid word count. If they say 1,500, 1,500 it is. It's a competition. You can see here, there is a template. It says 1,500 words. Initially, they used to restrict so that once you are getting to 1,005, they will tell you. But I'm telling you recently, the template they use is allow them. After all, is a yardstick for cutting on it. 1,501 cutoff, you know. So rule of thumb, I always give 10 if I can help it. 10 words short. 1,500, I do 1,490, you know, something like that. So that at least they say don't go over if they put for you a barrier, it's not for you to move close to the barrier, like my principal used to say when we go to female hostel. Say this is where female hostels start. Don't go to the line. If not, when you find yourself inside, you will not know. So stay as far away from the line as possible. It's 1,005. Stay 10 words far away from the line. And then non-adherence to budgeting. Of course, TED Fund, I don't know if they have changed now. Equipment cost is 25% of your total budget. Personnel cost, meaning what you will pay yourself, the PI and other collaborators who are working. That's what they call personnel cost from which you can pay yourselves. You can't pay yourself salary or allowances more than 20%. Personnel cost is 20%. Travels, you want to travel 5%. You know, I remember our first NRF, the amount that was cut off was about 12 million naira. Out of 12 million naira, we wanted to travel, I think 8 million. And then they told us during the interview, so you want to use our money to go and know some African countries. Whereas we had mentioned African countries where we could go and sample. So travels, 5%. You know, dissemination, that is, you want to publish your findings in a journal, you want to publish it in conference proceeding, you want to publish in a book, you want to write a report, all the costs for dissemination. You want to be on radio or on TV to be able to disseminate information about your research. You can spend only 3% of the total budget. And there's this one thing, the level of remuneration of PI. Some PIs will say, yes, I'm in charge of supervision. So out of the whole 100%, that's out of personnel cost, when you calculate 20% of personnel cost, that's the 100 now, which you will share with your colleagues who are working with you. The PI will take 40%. No, it must not exceed 40%. But even that is very controversial. Usually we put aside people based on their contributions, they get remuneration based on the amount of work they will do. But there's usually a segment of what we say supervision costs. Because if 5 people are working differently, you, the PI, you are the one in charge. You are supposed to be the one to monitor. So because you spend time also monitoring the others, there's a specific amount which you're supposed to pay yourself. What they are saying here is you should allocate for yourself up to 40% of that 100%, that 20% personnel cost, but it should be lower. Of course, non-adherence to other issues. You know, you cannot be a PI to more than one. You don't allow 2 PIs in every cycle. If you are a PI to this, you can only be a member in others. You can be a member to as many as 10, but you can't be PI in one NRF concept, another something, you are the PI. You can only do one at a time. Word count shouldn't be more than 500. We have already gone beyond that now in concept notes. Of course, I told you about the head of institution. If you are the provost, you are the rector, you are the vice chancellor, you cannot also be a PI. There was an argument whether you can be a member of the team, and it was discountenanced. You know, I have not been able to be participating in any NRF, you know, myself. So when I tell you that I'm also competing, I mean, I have mentees that are doing work, you know, in my lab or elsewhere. I'm collaborating either in Sokoto or I'm collaborating in Katsina or in Lagos. And I am, you know, spiritually part of the team, but my name does not appear as one of those who is a member of the team. So make sure your head of institution, your DVC, your director of academic plan, those who are in top management who take this decision to release money are not also there. Okay, so also grant for rejection also includes, going above 50 million and of course above the word count. So in conclusion, because I am trying to maximize and ensure I have about 10 minutes left in my submission. In conclusion, why proposals aren't fundable? Because of these reasons that I have listed. Majority of the issues that prevent people from getting their full proposal funded is because of these 10 issues I've highlighted. Research scope is too broad and unfocused. Somebody wants to do everything all at once. And there is disconnect between the title and the content. You look at the title and the whole objective you want to achieve, you really look at it. Can this person finish in 2 years? Or is it possible to even run this project on that budget? Or for that matter, the scope is too large. It's too large that the money, the time allotted, even the resources cannot be able to solve it. So this is one of the things. Make sure that the work you're going to do, I don't know why some people want to sample, they say not central. They focus on everywhere in North Central. They don't have collaborators in Plateau. They are in North Central. They don't have collaborators in Plateau, Nasarawa, and Benue, but they want to take samples from all those places. How do you travel from Mina, Abdulkadir Kure University, Mina? When will you be doing your own work and then to go and sample? At the end of the day, you see so many samples. The scope is too large. Even if you say North Central, you can just pick 2 states. That's what happened in one of our other, the second one. They narrowed it. They say, yes, you can sample in North Central. The sampling point in Niger State, 2 places. In Nasarawa, 2 places. You go to Plateau, 1 place. It's enough. The title can be North Central. After all, it's in the sampling point, 5 points, but in 3 different states. It can still be representative of Nasarawa, North Central. The second is little originality in research ideas and content. I have seen this a lot. Many people, they have already done some work. It's no longer original. It's already in the public domain, but they are recycling it back as if it is something very novel or something new. The idea is too old. We are in the world of AI now. By a click of the button, you will see so many publications. So that's one of the things you need to do quickly. The title of your work, you can put it in AI tool and then try to see. Once you see so many publications in that area, it means it's no longer relevant. It's no longer a new idea. But the moment you click a title inside an AI tool, and you are specific to Nigeria, you are specific to the region, or specific to research area, the moment you get so few publications relating to that particular work, it gives you an idea that this is an area where it's likely to be acceptable. The third point is low value addition profile, that is research content, not novel or strikingly new. I've spoken about it earlier. You see something, a lot of publication, even dating back to 2020 or 2018, and then somebody proposes it for as a new concept. It will simply be thrown away. The fourth one is poorly written executive summary. You see someone is writing an executive summary and it's not really a summary, or a summary that does, by the way, your summary for executive summary for NRF to contain the place where the research will be done, the amount of money that you want to execute, and should also be time-bound, the number of months that you are proposing. So executive summary should be really executive summary, like the name entails. So some executive summaries are really very poorly written, and you cannot accept. It's the first thing that strikes someone. Really, they see it's very poor, they will just simply throw it away. That's where, by the way, people read your full proposals from. They look at the executive summary. Like I've said earlier in my other talks, what attracts people to your work first is the title. That is the mirror of what is inside, because the title is the executive summary of the executive summary. And if the title is so attractive, it's okay, what is the summary of this? Then they go to the executive summary next. But they go to the title so attractive, the executive summary doesn't capture the essence of what you are saying inside. Nobody will spend time to read. They will consider what is before them as junk. They will simply throw it away. Then poorly stated research objectives. At the end of the day, your objectives must be stated clearly, and they must be able, the objective stated must be able to answer the research questions you are putting forward. You know, the objectives must be a reflection of the research questions you are asking and must be able to address the problem statement that you have already put forward. The sixth is unsatisfactory or inadequate methodology for addressing core research goals. Sometimes you see very good proposal, very good objectives, but the methodology to address the core research goals, are not readily available. You have not used enough research methods. Then the seventh is choice of mundane or not up-to-date analytical tools or methods in addressing core. I see this, I beg your pardon, a lot in the humanities. In the 21st century, I still come across people who use mean, median, mode as statistical tools. It's very, very embarrassing. I thought we had gone beyond that. But I was invited as a reviewer of a very good research grant, and some coming is a regional grant, Africa, AAU, and then I still see people in a competition still using mean median mode as statistical tool. Or for that matter, somebody is trying to use chemical methods. People are still using thin layer chromatography in the 21st century. Oh my God. There are so many methodologies that are robust. They are very, very easy to handle. They give you very good results, and they are known the world over. They are in vogue. Everybody accepts them. You cannot be giving methodologies of the Stone Age as this time. So this is another place where people really need to step up, and of course, this trails into the output. Some people's output is usually in this bar chart, or pie chart. Doesn't really say anything about the complexities of what you try to unearth, And so we really need to use to-date analytical tools and methods in addressing core research content. The ninth is inadequate or very shallow research content of the proposal. You see a proposal and then no much research has been done. You cannot really see how the person opens up the gaps in that particular area. So really very, very mundane. Then outrageous budgeting, like I've said, accounts for over 40% of why proposals are. Some people who just want to get that 50 million as much as they push the budget, they push the budget. Like they say, if you beat your data too much, it is going to cry. It's the same thing as your budget. You push your budget so much, it's going to show how really very poor you are. So you shouldn't push the budget. You should look at your methodologies, the activities you will do, and budget precisely based on what will be enough, not be pushing the budget to what your mind you want. I want 45 million. You keep pushing 45. Every little opportunity, you are pushing the money to be able to actualize that maximum budget limit. So in conclusion, these are the 10 really areas that have really pushed the boundaries for making people's proposal not to be found very fundable. So when you are polishing your proposals, you make sure you focus on these key areas and to ensure that you have addressed them as adequately as you could. In conclusion, I always acknowledge our professor of business studies, NNPC, our mentor, Professor Obaje. He just passed away about 3 to 4 weeks ago. May his soul rest in peace. He was our director R&D at IBB University, where I rose to become Deputy Vice Chancellor, and I was appointed Vice Chancellor in my new university. Professor Obaje, over my 12 years in IBB University, For those 12 years, he has been our mentor, anything regarding research proposal writing. All the bits and pieces that we knew or we now know about research writing, he was the one that galvanized us. Not only the local one in Nigeria, we have also won so many international grants together. Not even the ones that are given from a funding agency, but by those who are not even funding agencies in Nigeria and elsewhere. So may Prof. Baji's soul continue to rest in peace. He really mentored us and supported us. That's why we also picked it up, and we have traveled far and wide to be able to spread this news. And we are always on to share the little that we also know based on what we also got from our mentors. Prof. Ibrahim Katampe, my friend, was a chair professor of chemistry in the Department of Natural Science, Central State University, Columbus, Washington. He was the one who in 2016, 2017, taught me what they mean by the NRF key points. If you don't know the key points, you continue to languish. You know, I had written over 14 proposals, NRF. Some have been, the concept not accepted, but not funded until I met Professor Katampe, who showed me he has been a reviewer for TED Fund. He continues to be one of the go-to persons for NRF. He taught me these key points. From then on, immediately I got those key points. Some of my mentees also have taught them. People, I'm very happy to see they have won. So I'm very grateful to my friend and colleague, Professor Ibrahim Katampe, who were together just last month. I continue to celebrate him. I also acknowledge and salute Professor M. Bukar of Faculty of Medical Sciences, University of Maiduguri. His slides on how to win NRF research grant, you can see some of my slides that I took from TED Fund were actually from his own slides. I continue to celebrate because there's these little ideas we pick here and there that we share with others. So it is quite very, very impedient for us to also acknowledge those who we have borrowed ideas from, and that has helped us. In the same vein, we expect that people who use our slides will also acknowledge us. That is a very little token we can ask for sharing the little we know. If we all share the little we know, we believe the world and Nigeria will be a better place. There's also Professor Abba Omar, who was the director of R&D in UNIMED from, I believe, 2016 up to 2020 or 22. He's no longer there now. He made me a resource person to University of Maiduguri 3 times to present on NRF. I continue to celebrate him and my colleagues in Bosu, Borno State University. There are others also in OMU, Umar Musa Yar'Adua University in Katsina. I've also gone to other places in the south, too numerous to mention, to ABU, to Bayero University, Kano, all the resource persons I have met who have added 1 or 2 to my own CV and my own presentation skills. I continue to celebrate them. Of course, lastly, I salute my friend, my younger brother from another mother, Professor Aibinu Musa Aibinu. Abiodun Musa Aibinu is the Vice Chancellor of Summit University. Our elder brother, who is the first on the list, of course, is Professor Sabo Mohammed, the Vice Chancellor of, I think he's going to finish his tenure next year, of Federal University Duze. He was our eldest brother who was our chairman and president, Nigerian Diaspora Malaysia, after which Aibinu Musa became the president, Nigerian Diaspora Malaysia. Then when he left for FUT Mina, I also became the president, Nigerian Diaspora Malaysia. So all these my mentors who galvanized me and encouraged me to be able to share the little I have. And then, of course, lists are not written here are my colleagues in my former university, IBB University, also Professor Kabir Mohammed Adamu, Professor, we have Ibino, Professor Abiodun Lawal of Faculty of Agric. We have Professor Gudugi. There are so many of them. My students, my colleagues who also give me feedback that what I say and what I teach are actually very workable. Prof. Ibino it was who showed me the power of small money in research. You get small money to galvanize you to look for more. It will help you to do more research so that you understand the concepts and then also look for more money. So thank you very much for listening. Unfortunately, as I'm closing, I believe the key to success is always hard work and determination. As I thank you for listening, I want to make an announcement. So many people have asked me to share my full proposal NRF. And I had to ask the director of NRF, and he says it's very, very unethical. One, because it will not be allowing people to be very, very original. I shared the concept notes and it helped people, but TEDfund has told me it is not ethical for me to share the full slide of what gave us success. It is quite very unethical. I'm also the chairperson of an ethics committee in my previous university and up to now. So we don't want to do anything unethical. I can just share ideas with you, help you to look at what you have done and offer an advice. And after all, my advice is not foolproof. There are so many people who have advised, many people have won. And also on the flip side, there are equally or more people who have advised who unfortunately couldn't make it. So, I mean, we're just sharing the little we can. It's best for you to articulate what I've told you, to be able to put it in your own work. And I believe if you have really done the hard work, you should be very successful. So I thank you for listening. And again, to Age, I invaluably, recognize it was you who projected me onto the global scene. I thank Age, Academic Grant Writers Enclave. I have become a member by default, and I promise whenever I am invited, I will always offer myself. I apologize, I couldn't pick up the appointment as your keynote speaker. I was really very busy. I couldn't pick up that. But I had to be forced to do this, and I'm happy to have done it. So thank you very much to the organizers and everyone. Have a very wonderful day. If there are questions, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor ALIYU PAIKO, for a highly informative and enchanting talk. Now we'll have a discussion session, which is dedicated for some 10 minutes. Please feel free to share your questions in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand feature.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to add some questions or queries to Professor? So there are two questions in the chat box. The first question is a lecturer 1 eligible for NRF? And the question is by Jonathan Okena. And he has asked that whether lecturer 1 is eligible for NRF.
I think I've answered that question in the course of my discussion, because I know a lecturer 1 from my university in 2023, even when we were told that only senior lecturers can be the PI or the principal investigator in NRF, I know a lecturer 1 who wrote full proposal, and he was funded. So I am really not sure that the senior lecturer rule still counts. Once your proposal is very good and you are from a university and is found worthy for sponsorship, I believe it will be sponsored. That is my response now. But of course, you can always ask NRF. They are always available. You can send them a text message. You can make a call. People will give you the relevant answers.
So there is yet another question. What happened in a situation whereby a research proposal was selected for funding but not funded due to lack of funds?
No, that doesn't happen. What they do is, first of all, they pick the numbers that have won based on available funds. They already know how much is earmarked. And out of those who have scored 60% and above, they will always invite the number of proposals that will be enough for that funding cycle, the available funds for that particular cycle. So once they invite some don't meet up, there's even usually some reserve list. If they invite, for example, 180, out of the 180, if, for example, 5 drop out, there is always a reserve list. They will invite more until they have exhausted the amount that they have earmarked for this funding cycle. So there has never been, I have never had experience where someone is characterized as their funds very good, but it didn't get funded. I am not aware of that situation up until 2023. So for sure, if they invite your proposal, be very sure, if they say you have one, be very sure it will be funded.
I think this will be our final question for today. There's no more questions in the Q&A session. So
thank you very much for
on behalf of this
sorry,
organizing, I would like to extend
excuse me, Dr. Amruta.
Yes.
Dr. Amruta, I'm sorry to cut you short, please. We have participants' hand raised up. Yes, there are a lot of participants with their hands raised up already. So maybe I'll just call from this end. I don't know if you could do see from your end. So Dr. Bimbola, please, you can ask your question, sir. Oma. Dr. Bimbola. Okay, we have Dr. SIR Okodua. Please ask your question, sir.
All right. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Clearly.
All right. Yes, I actually typed my question previously. I was thinking it should be read from there. I asked 2 questions. One, I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can.
I can hear you.
All right.
Dr.
Yes. I said, please, can you kindly advise on the best range of budgets? I know you said something like that, but it wasn't too clear. If you can throw more light on it, on the best range when you're making this proposal for the food presentation. And as a follow-up to that, is it possible or is it advisable for looking at the economic situation in Nigeria in reality today? Because when this concept note was written, that was about 2023, about a year ago. There are been some kind of inflation. What do you advise in terms of adjustment of prices in submission of the food proposal? That's one question. Then 2, can you advise on the approximate estimate number of pages or word count for the food proposal? I think I want to stop there for now. These are my questions. If you could just throw more light on it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sorry, Prof. I would like to give chances for a few questions while you answer all together, or how do you prefer it, sir?
Let me answer one at a time so that my head is.
All right, quite understood, sir.
I don't have a writing material yet. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So, Dr. SIR, thank you very much, my secretary and my friend. Actually, I did a study myself, and this is what people should do when you are approaching a funding body. We did a study, myself and my colleagues. What did we do? We took, there is a chart which TED Fund has released from 2015, I believe, up until 2022. You will see the proposals, the titles, and the amount that was approved. And so we did an analysis, and it surprised us that over 70% of those funded proposals, the range that was most funded was from 25 million to 35 million. That is when they said the most or the highest was 50 million. The majority, about 70 or 72%, ranged between 25 million up to 35 million. So they said 50 million, but most ended on that note. The next range was from 16 million up to 22 million. The next, after 70, then the next was something like about 15 or 17%, thereabout. So if you want my advice, I will say if it is scientific, narrow your budget within that 25, 35 million range. And usually what I've also noticed is that many people when they're trying to send for NRF, they pick so many things to do. That's the reason why if you pick so many things, means your sampling will be so many. It means the amount of money you require is so money. So you don't need to change Nigeria by one research proposal. You can just pick a range of things that you can do and then really do very quality study. Even though you're talking about economic situation, I tell you, 30 million is still a lot of money to do some research. 30 million is a handsome money to do research. Of course, many people want to do poverty, they consider NRF grant as a poverty alleviation strategy. It doesn't work like that. They want to squeeze in, they want to collect salary from, it doesn't work like that. So long as it's the work, 30 million should be able to do it. As to word count, the word count in the full proposal is a template now. What is enough? Just enough to explain what you don't just keep going on and on. It's something precise to the point. You don't need to take too long. By the way, I used to know that the template used to have some restrictions. So, I mean, how much is enough? You know within your own research area. So don't let me mislead you. I'm not into humanities, so I wouldn't be able to say this. I'm a scientist and I work on animal feeds and biotechnology. I know how much is enough for my area when I'm trying to describe how to do, for example, you want to extract DNA. I know how much words I have to use. You don't need to go all over the basics and things like that. So let's just leave it there. These are my honest answers to your questions, my friend. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that response. I really appreciate it. It's actually an eye-opener, and we're actually happy that our concept note has been approved. We are actually, myself and my team, we met recently to finalize the full proposal, but I just as put a hold to it that we need to attend this program first before we can do that. And I'm happy the way we've been able to attend it now. Thank you very much, Professor PAIKO. It's been a nice time interacting with you, sir.
Thank
and to
you
the organizer,
so much,
we say cheers.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Next question here, okay, Dr. Isiaka Tai, please go ahead with your question, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Prof. You have been a wonderful presentation, seriously. I believe that I personally learned a lot of things from you people, and it serves as additional value to my own knowledge. But there is one thing which I wanted to just make a wonderful input on it. I think you talk about in this era, when you see the people using the mean and the standard deviation, it seems like the person have not done the reasonable thing, because there is a new innovations that people can input into this the analysis. Please, can you just share more light on us so that we can gain more on that, please? Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Isiaka, if I answer quickly, mean median mode does not describe anything. There are so many statistical tools now. When Dr. Wazani was speaking about AI, he even gave statistical tools that you can use. Based on your area, you ask experts. I cannot recommend for you, but I tell you, mean, median, and mode does not describe anything these days. You want to do statistical research or statistical analysis, there are so many robust tools that you can use. It's not for me to come here. I'm not an expert of statistics, but within my own area, that are the statistical tools I use, two-way ANOVA, MANOVA, there are so many of them. And then even the comparison of means, Turkish test, and the rest of them. So it's not for me to decide for you. I see this mistake mostly in the humanities. That's why I focus on it. It's based on what I have seen as a reviewer. And I was really marveled. I was really very, very surprised that in the 21st century, people can still restrict their statistical packages to just mean medium mode. Please, it is not enough. It is too little, and it is mean medium mode to describe the statistical package is way outdated. I dare to make that statement. Look for more robust tools from R, from SPSS even. It has continued to become, GraphPad, Prism. So many of them you can really get. So please don't let me take the expertise from your own field. Ask your colleagues. I'm very sure you will come up with those that are very much applicable.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Hello, Prof. Yes, I
can hear you.
I agree with you, right? But I believe that using the descriptive statistic is just an addition to the inferential statistic, because I believe that if somebody is using the like the effect, using the comparisons, you have to use what you call the t-tests and overs and the multipliers and the whatever like that. But for describing the differences among them now, the means and the standard deviation have to come in, so that for you to see the level or the range by which the variation is being occurred.
Dr. Isiaka, sorry, Doctor, you see, when I was talking about people who use mean, median, and mode as the only statistical package.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not relevant, but I'm saying those who still use mean, median, mode as the only statistical package they use in the whole of their evaluation. That's my meaning.
It's okay.
I don't mean for you not to use it at all. No, don't use it only.
It's okay.
Are we on the same page?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the answer.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Ambassador Mary Oyere, please go ahead and ask your question, ma'am. Please, you can unmute yourself, ma'am, and ask your question.
Thank you very much. My prof, thank you so much for this eye-opener and for this wonderful presentation. We are so very grateful. My question is, writing concept notes, is it the standard, is it universal? And does it depend on environment universally? If not, I want to know. And also, is it unethical to have a sample for us to use? For those of us who are going into it for the first time, is it unethical to have a sample of a concept note? So that if not, can we have one after this presentation? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mary. I am very delighted with your question. Like, probably you didn't understand me when I was making my statement. One, I have shared my own concept notes that have been adjusted by TEDFund to have been successful. I have shared it. If you go to Age, it's still there, I believe. People keep downloading. Over 2,000 downloads. Dr. Wazani is here. And of course, the Hope is here. Go to your site and then count. I think by last count, it's over 2,500. Both my presentation and the... So yes, we teach our mentees using the template that we developed and was already scored and adjusted by TEDFund to have been acceptable. That's, by the way, we are on the second stage now, full proposal. By the way, my own proposal, the two of them, I have patents on them. I have got patents, and it's not only me. This full proposal was developed by a group of researchers. TEDFund accepted, they funded our work. We had already submitted one report. The second report is still pending, but we have also got patents on this. So when I approached TEDFund, I said, well, people want me to share, like I share my my concept note. Should I share this one that they told me, no, it's not ethical to share a full proposal. Even if you go to NIH, if you go to all other international, IDRC, Canada, NIH in US, you will never see a full proposal being shown that has won. It's unethical to show a full proposal that has been scored, has been funded, that has won. They can only give you snippets of, and that is what I'm doing. Snippets from my own that was adjudged to have won is what I'm giving you in this kind of talk. I cannot give you the full proposal, like from A to Z, how I wrote it, and it was scored and accepted. Headphone told me it's unethical. So that's where we are. If you want my concept note, ask Age. It's there. I think I used to charging money, hope on it. It's still there. I think they're charging some few tokens to distribute to people. So because I've already have a collaboration with Age, I cannot by the side now begin to share with you anymore. Just go to their webpage. You can get a copy of my successful concept note that was adjudged successful. So you can get it, okay? And by saying whether it is international standard, there is no such thing. Every funding agency around the world, if they have a concept note, they're asking for concept note, they develop their own template. So that's their own template. And it's not too different from the other ones I know. At least I know NIH, I know IDRC, I know BioInnovate in East Africa. We apply to all these places. And we see the concept note profiles are not quite different from each other. The only differences are the originality of these funding agencies. So I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I'm grateful.
All right, thank you so much, Professor ALIYU PAIKO. Thank you so much, sir. I'll bring up Dr. Wadzani Dauda now, the Director of the Academic and Developmental Age. Of times before we make progress with other few announcements. Dr. Wadzani, sir, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. We deeply appreciate you. I guess Professor Ati is here. I don't know if Prof is still on the call, the conference chairperson, but sincerely, thank you so much, Prof, for coming around. And I mean, despite the tight schedules and all of it, you've decided to be here. The